Yes, we are back with 15 new shortcuts, and this one's gonna be big. I'm gonna show you how to set up auto text replies from any sender and how to automatically opt out from automated texts. I've revamped my auto wallpapers, whether it's time of day or even when connecting to a Wi-Fi network, toggle control center with a back tap, automatically record audio and transcribe it to Apple Notes, and finally, with Apple Intelligence, I figured out how to automatically download podcast episodes, get a transcription and summary all right on your iPhone. So stay till the end of the video because yes, that shortcut is real and it's spectacular. All right, first up is automating your text replies. Let's go to Shortcuts to the Automations tab here at the bottom, and we're gonna create a new automation. Here, we're gonna be using this message action several times to automate messages from a specific sender and from any sender, which is how we're gonna cut down on some of that spam texting. So here we can choose a sender from our contacts. This could even be someone from work, and every time they text you, you just want to respond, yeah, I got the report. You can even choose if the message contains certain text, like, did you get it? Or you can just reply to every text from that person by leaving it blank. We're going to choose Run Immediately, and let's go to Next. Now we're going to start a new blank automation, and we're going to search for the action Send Message. And all the credit to Neil Hughes on X, he gave me the tip on how to format this. So where it says Send, this is going to be your message. Let's just say Got it. And then where it says recipients, you're gonna tap and hold on that field, choose shortcut input, and that means it's gonna send the message to the person who texted you. I'm gonna expand this menu just to make sure show and run is disabled. I'll hit done. Now whenever that person texts you, you're going to automatically send the reply. All right, let's test this out. I'm gonna send a text message from that contact. The shortcut should run on my phone. You see the notification, and there the text automatically replied, got it. This gets incredibly powerful because now you can automatically reply stop to all those spam texts. I literally just got a spam text here, and at the very end you see it says stop to end. So automation number 2, we're gonna create a new automation, choose the message action again. For sender, we're gonna leave it blank. Where it says choose, I'm not gonna choose anything. For message contains, I'm gonna put stop to end. That means anytime I get a text message with that phrase in it, it's gonna auto reply with a message of my choice. Keep in mind, if you get a message from friends or family with that in the message, it's still gonna auto reply. I'm gonna hit done. I want this to run immediately. We're gonna go to Next, then New Blank Automation, search for that Send Message action again, and then where it says Send, I'm going to put Stop in all caps. Then I'm gonna tap and hold on the recipient, choose Shortcut Input, hit Done, and now anytime I get a spam text that says Stop to End, it's automatically gonna reply with the word Stop. You can add several automations for different variations, like press stop to cancel or stop to unsubscribe, and now you can just automatically text stop to any spam text. All right, number 3, we're gonna do one more automation because someone requested to have a vacation responder text. They have a lot of clients that text them, so here we're gonna do something a little different. Sender, we want this to go to everyone. Message contains, we're also gonna leave that blank. So when this automation is live, it's gonna reply to every text message I get. Now you can kind of hack this in the message contains. You can just put a space and then done. So this is going to reply to any message with a space in it. This should cover pretty much every text, but you can also just choose multiple senders if you have clients that you want to auto respond to. So put all your clients here, or do something like just put a space in the message contains. I want this to run immediately, hit Next, New Blank Automation, and we're going to do something a little different. I actually want to have a date formatted for my vacation responder text. So the first action is just going to be date. Now it can be current date, but obviously you want this to be a specific date when you'll be back actually responding to people. So here I can actually type in a date, let's say October 30th. Now you can make this even more fancy by getting a calendar event if you have your vacation there, but we'll just do a date. And now let's add a text block because this is going to be what auto responds to people. So I typed up a little boilerplate text, and then I'm going to tap the date. I'm going to take off the time formatting, keep the medium date format. This way, in the future, I can just change the date here, and I know the message will be updated. And now let's add the send message action, and that's automatically going to populate the text. So it's going to send that message. And for recipients, we're going to tap and hold again and choose shortcut input. Let's hit done. And as long as they have a space in the message that they sent us, we're going to auto respond. So I'll test one more time. I text, hey, are you back? You see the shortcut running in the background because there was a space in the text message. And then we should see that auto reply pop up. You see I have both of those automations, so they do run simultaneously, but there's my vacation responder message. So this is a great way to have an auto text response when you're away. So those were some auto text shortcuts. Now let's go into changing your wallpaper automatically. There's actually a new action in iOS 18, which not only allows you to set wallpapers, but you can actually switch. So if you search for this action, switch, you'll see switch between wallpapers as the action, and now you can actually choose one of the wallpaper lock screens you already have. Not only does this change to that lock screen, but it will also change focus mode. Now when you have that set up as a shortcut here, and I'll put a link to this shortcut in the video description just to make it easy, we can now actually go to the automations tab, and let's say we want to change wallpaper based on Wi-Fi network. I'm gonna hit the plus button here, and let's go down to Wi-Fi, and let's say when we join a Wi-Fi network, and now we can choose from our full list of networks. Mine is Minas Tirith here. Anytime my phone joins that Wi-Fi network, this automation is going to run. I'm going to have it run immediately, go to next, new blank automation, and then because we already have the shortcut in our library, I can just go to the run shortcuts action, and then let's choose the switch wallpaper shortcut. That's all it takes. I'll hit done. Now I'm going to disconnect from the Wi-Fi right now. This way we can actually see it change. We're here in my filming mode. It's a different lock screen and home screen. I'm going to turn on my Wi-Fi. Now this will work if you just arrive home, and look, automatically it just ran that shortcut, and now my lock screen has changed, and I'm in a different focus mode based on that switch wallpaper action. Now one other wallpaper shortcut. We can actually set up a shortcut which will randomly choose a photo from an album we have set up. I call this the Set Daily Wallpaper Photo. What this does is I created an album in my photo library called iPhone Wallpapers. Then you can add the action Get Random Item from those photos. So this will choose a random shortcut every time. Then you can choose the Set Wallpaper action, and this is different from some of the older shortcuts you might have seen here on the channel. With the new Set Wallpaper action, you actually have to choose which lock screen and wallpaper it's going to change. I'm going to select this one because it's active right now, and then when you expand this menu, you can choose to have it set the lock screen and home screen or one or the other. I disabled Show Preview because I want it to happen automatically. I chose Crop to Subject, and I did the legibility blur, which blurs the home screen. You can download this shortcut in the video description. And just to show you that album, this is the album it's going to be pulling a random photo from. Many of these are from Basic Apple Guy, link in the video description, highly recommend. And let's actually map this to the action button so we can get a new wallpaper every time we touch it. All right, now I'm going to go back to my lock screen, and if this is set up properly, every time I run the action button, it's going to get a random photo, and it should set it as the wallpaper. And it changed wallpaper right there. And let's see if it actually blurred it behind my home screen icons, and yes it did. Now you can create an automation that runs every morning to wake up to a new wallpaper every day, or you can map it to the action button or even a back tap, and then change your wallpaper as often as you'd like. And speaking of customizing your phone, in case you were wondering, this is the new MOFT MOVA case for the iPhone 16 Pro. MOFT actually sent me their creator kit for iPhone 16, and it contains some of my favorite accessories for iPhone. Not only do they have one of the best feeling vegan leather cases with their MOVA series, but their new MagSafe snap-on stand and wallet has been on my iPhone almost daily. The MOVA stand and wallet can replace your MagSafe wallet by holding 2 cards in a super slim form factor. It looks great and comes in a bunch of different colors. This is the Misty Cove color, paired with my Desert Titanium iPhone 16 Pro Max. And it has really strong MagSafe magnets, stays on your phone with or without a case, and then when you want to watch a video on your lunch break or just have your phone more visible on your desk, pop out the stand and you're ready to go. It works both in portrait mode if you're watching shorts and landscape mode for watching those long form videos and shows. It's made with durable MOVAs vegan leather, and its magnets are 2 times stronger than before, so you don't have to worry about it falling off. And if you went with a big iPhone this year like mine, it's much easier to use when you have your snap-on stand as a grip like this. So get the snap-on stand and wallet and all their other great accessories at the first link down in the video description. They even have a tripod stand and wallet too. My thanks to MOFT for sponsoring this video. Now, let's get back to the shortcuts. All right, for this next shortcut, they wanted to open a specific folder using the action button in the Files app. For this, you actually need 2 actions. First, search for the File action, and it's just the plain one that says File. Now select that, and now go to the folder that you want to open. Maybe it's iCloud Drive and then Desktop. Tap Open here at the top. I'll put a link to this shortcut in the video description as well, but you'll have to choose what folder you want there. And then for the second action, you want to choose Open File. You'll see it looks like that. Just tap the action, you don't have to do anything else, and now whenever you run the shortcut, it's going to automatically open that folder. All right, next I showed this briefly in one of my iOS 18 videos, but when you update to 18.1, there's actually going to be Control Center actions available, including toggling the Control Center. You'll see here Show Control Center is the action, and then you can choose to show it or toggle it. This is really cool, especially if you want to do a back tap, and that's exactly what I programmed into my double back tap. If I tap it, Control Center goes on, tap again, and it toggles off. And real quick, if you've never set a back tap before, just go to the settings. You'll need to go down to accessibility, then go over to touch, scroll down, and you'll see back tap here at the bottom. And you can actually program a double tap or even triple tap, and then you can select any of your shortcuts to run. All right, next up with iOS 18, you can now record audio, and you used to have to use the dictate text action in shortcuts to actually get a transcription, but that action usually cut short and was kind of annoying. Well, now you can use the new record audio action. You can expand that, change the audio quality even to very high. You can start recording on tap, but I actually like it to record immediately, and then I want it to finish recording on tap. Then we can actually do an append to note action, and it's going to automatically transcribe the audio that we recorded. This is something in iOS 18, not Apple Intelligence specifically. So we can append and then choose the recorded audio for the action, and then choose the note where you'd like it to append. I just created a note called Voice Transcriptions, so I'll choose that note here. Now whenever I run this shortcut, it's automatically going to start recording audio. You can see it's recording, it's real dim in the background, but it's just going to sit there and record as long as I would want. Again, this is more reliable than that dictate text action we used to have to use. I'm going to tap to stop the recording. You have to choose always allow the first time it runs, and now it's going to attach that voice recording to the Apple Note. Let me go back to my Apple Note. You see there's the recording. I can play the audio there, but you automatically get that transcription because that's what Apple Notes does. It just transcribes whatever audio. The summary up here, that's Apple Intelligence specifically, iPhone 15 Pro or 16, and any of the M series iPads. You'll get this once 18.1 launches, you get the summary as well. Next up, if you want to automate a music station, someone actually said this in the comments. Let's say you wanted a playlist to start as soon as you arrived home. Well, you can do this several ways. I'll go to the Automations tab, and you can say when you connect to a Wi-Fi network, or choose the actual locations when you arrive or leave home. I'll do the Wi-Fi network again because it's easy to demonstrate. I'll choose my Minas Tirith network, of course. Run immediately, hit next, and previously it was kind of hard to find Apple Music stations, but now if I just search for play music, and here tap in the action, and instead of going to the library section, like to choose a playlist or song, go to the home tab here, and then you can choose your personalized station, but you can also scroll down in that stations for you, and this was a station I created with an Earth, Wind & Fire song, and I can tap that Apple Music station, and now that station will play along with other automations like for my smart home and whatever other actions you'd like. Let's hit done. I'm going to disconnect from my Wi-Fi network so we can actually see this automation run. Let's turn up the volume, and let me turn Wi-Fi back on. We should see the automation run pretty quickly. Let's see if it plays the music. Oh, my wallpaper changed because I still had that automation, and it automatically started playing our music also. All right, next, what if you want to overlay a logo or letterhead on a PDF? Well, you can do that with shortcuts too. I'm going to start actually by selecting a file, although you can actually add this to the share sheet and just run this anytime you're looking at a PDF on your phone. I'm going to choose the Files action here, then I'm going to tap and hold on that space and choose Ask each time. Now I can select a different PDF whenever I would like. Now I'm actually going to add another file action, but this one is going to be whatever logo or image that I want to overlay. So I can tap here, and I'm actually going to go to one of my podcast artworks. Maybe I'll go to Primary Technology. That's actually my tech podcast with Jason Aten. New episodes every Thursday. You can subscribe above. The podcast is right here on YouTube or in your podcast app of choice. So I chose a square image here that's actually the podcast artwork. Now that I have the select file and the image set, I can search for the overlay tool. I'll choose overlay image. I'm going to tap and hold on the overlay, the first block, select the variable, and I'll select the image that I have there. And for the second box, we choose the original file. Then I'm going to add a quick look, but you can also do a send message or save file if you want to save the PDF with the actual logo attached. Now when I run this, I'm going to choose this PDF that I have here on my desktop. We'll tap open. I'll hit done after I chose the file. It's going to overlay that image, and you can see it's a little large. I can actually pinch and zoom on the image, drag it where I would like, and put that overlay just how you want. Hit done, and now you have a PDF with the image overlaid. I can tap that share button and send it wherever I would like. But if you don't have to resize it every time and it's pretty consistent, you can expand this overlay action, and instead of showing the image editor, You can choose a position. Maybe we want to do top right. You can also adjust the width of the image. I'll put a 300 width and then it'll auto resize based on those pixels. And for the position, you can also go all the way down to custom and then play around with the numbers to get it positioned precisely how you'd like. I'll play this again. Let's choose a file, hit done, and it's going to automatically resize and overlay that image. Again, you can do the custom position and get it placed exactly where you want, adjust the size, and now you can automatically add letterheads or logos on your PDFs. And if you want to have this directly in the share sheet, just tap the eye icon here at the bottom, go over to Show and Share Sheet, and then the top of the shortcut changes, and you can have it receive whatever, but you can also just clear all the choices, have it choose from files and PDFs, hit done, and then rather than have this file action, I can delete that, and in the overlay section, I'll tap on that second part, and we'll choose Shortcut Input. So now if I'm just looking at a file, let's say here in my Files app, I can hit the Share button down here, look at my shortcuts. I called this one Letterhead Add, and I can just run the shortcut. It will automatically add that overlay image. Here it is in preview. I can hit the Share button again and then send it wherever I would like. I'll put a link to the shortcut version where it's actually in the share sheet down in the description. Next, someone asked me to actually include my recording video shortcut. This is the shortcut I use every time I make a video here in the studio. It's pretty long. I'll just explain what's in it real quick. Then you can just download the shortcut and play around with it. But what this does is it sets my filming focus mode for an hour, turns down my iPhone brightness to 25%, which is perfect for filming, turns on dark mode for my phone. Then it actually opens the auto lock display preferences so I can set it to never, waits a few seconds so I have time to change it, and then also goes to the accessibility and brightness settings. This way I can turn auto brightness off. This way it's not changing while I'm filming. Link to this shortcut is below as well. Next, someone wanted an automation for every time they receive an email from someone, an alarm sounds. Now you can kind of do this. I'm going to show you some other options you have here, but I'll go to email, and then here you can have sender and choose a sender for the automation. I would leave subject blank and account blank. This way, if they send it to whatever email account and whatever they put in the subject, same thing with recipients. And let's run immediately. Then we'll go to next. Now you can do something like set an alarm, but you're going to have to set it for the future, so it's not going to be immediate. Instead, I would recommend you can have a bunch of alerts for when this person sends you an email. For instance, let's do vibrate device as one of the actions. So now when I get an email from this sender, it's going to vibrate my device. You can also do show alert. I'll say something like email from dad or whoever your sender is. And if you really just do not want to miss the email, you can do something like play music and then choose either a sound effect or just a loud piece of music. Let's do something like I Feel Good by James Brown. And now when this person sends me an email, all this stuff is going to happen. Let's test it out. So I'm going to send an email from that email account. And once it hits my phone, let's see what happens. Oh, I just got an email from it. It's running my automation. It vibrated the device. I saw an alert on my phone. And let's see if it actually starts the music too. So if you really do not want to miss an email, you can do all that. All right, this next request was when a person gets in the car, they want to be able to select their Bluetooth device for audio playback that's not CarPlay. Well, I'm going to create a new automation here, and you might have to choose a different action. If you do have CarPlay in the car, but you want to choose a different device, you can choose CarPlay as the action, but you can also choose Bluetooth down here, and then say when a Bluetooth device is connected. I'll choose device. Now you will have to be connected currently to the device in order for this to trigger, but I can choose my car here. So whenever my phone connects to my car, this shortcut is going to run. We're going to do run immediately, hit next, new blank automation, and this can be just a one-step shortcut. I'm going to search for audio playback, and there is a built-in action here called change playback destination, and you can choose to set that destination to, and then any of the devices. Or you can also choose to tap and hold on the second action and do ask each time, and then when your phone connects to your car, it'll pull up a list of devices for you to choose what you want to play back to every time. All right, this next request was the ability to toggle alarms on or off based on location. Well, we can go back to the Automations tab and choose Arrive or Leave. Let's say when you leave, and then you can choose your home location or work. You can also specify a time range if you only want the shortcut to run during the day or just at night. We're going to run immediately, hit Next, new blank automation, and then this can be a one-action automation as well. We're going to search for Alarms action, and you'll see Toggle Alarm is an option right here. So we can turn alarm, and then rather than a time, we can choose one of our labeled alarms. So here's our weekday, It just shows the time there, but that is the weekday. You can see it labeled down here. And then we can choose to turn it on, turn it off, or we can tap where it says turn and choose to toggle. Then whenever you leave that location, whether it's home or work, it'll turn that alarm on or off, and you can have multiple automations for adjusting multiple alarms. You can also duplicate this action by tapping the symbol on the left, duplicate, and now you can have multiple alarms that turn on or off based on your location. Okay, and the final big shortcut. With this, you can download the latest episode of a podcast from their RSS feed, save that audio file to an Apple Note, and in iOS 18, any audio file you put in Apple Notes is going to automatically get transcribed. Then, with Apple Intelligence in 18.1, you can get a summary of that episode as well. I'll walk you through the different steps of the shortcut, but you can just download this in the video description. It'll be the first shortcut link if you want. At the very top is where you're going to have to put the RSS feed. This is the RSS feed for My Tech Podcast, Primary Technology, so that's going to be the episode it pulls from. Then there's a bunch of steps which basically gets the title of the first episode and finds the MP3 file URL for that first episode as well. This is only going to do the latest episode. Then it's going to download that MP3 file. It's going to save it to a folder on your computer. I found that if I try to skip this step, it doesn't get into Apple Notes properly. And then that file that gets saved to the desktop is going to be appended to a note. The only other action you'll need to customize is what note this actually appends to. Now, I actually have this note here called Podcast Transcriptions, where I already ran this once, but let me run it again just so you can see it. I run this shortcut. It's going to download the latest episode. It's going to save that file to a folder and then append it to that Apple Note. It does take a few seconds for the shortcut to run, and sometimes I get this error, but it still worked anyways. That's probably an iOS 18 thing. And look, here is that audio file. It just appended it. Remember, there was just one before, and now there's that new audio file. Now, it does take a few minutes for it to transcribe. It's not going to be available immediately, but if you give it a few minutes, now I can jump in and play this.
Welcome to Primary Technology, the show about the tech news that matters.
So you can see it is actually the podcast episode, and if I tap here, I can actually get the full transcription of the entire podcast. This was all done in Apple Notes, not Apple Intelligence. This is just an iOS 18 with an iPhone 12 or newer. Now I can tap the three dots up here, and I can do things like add the transcript to the note, copy the transcript, find in the transcript. But the really cool thing is if you have an iPhone 15 Pro or any Model 16 or an M Series iPad, once you update to iOS 18.1 with Apple Intelligence, you'll automatically get a summary of the podcast episode just right up at the top. Now, it's kind of a longer summary, but this was an hour, 20-minute recording. But if you would like, you can even choose to copy the transcript and then run the writing tools for Apple Intelligence and get an even shorter summary. So I'm going to add the transcript to the note, and then you'll see the entire transcript is right here in the note, which is pretty cool. And if I want to run Apple Intelligence, I can just select all. I'll hit the Writing Tools Apple Intelligence Toolkit here, and then I can choose key points or bullet points. I'll do the key points. Because it's a longer transcript, it might take a minute or so, and it's actually doing it progressively, but Apple Intelligence is giving me summarized bullet points based on that entire transcript. Now, the really cool thing is you can have this run in an automation. So you just go back to Shortcuts, go to the Automations tab, and then have an automation run at time of day. And if you know your podcast releases every Thursday, like Primary Technology, you can have this run weekly on Fridays because the episode comes out Thursday afternoon, have it run immediately, and then choose this shortcut using the Run Shortcut action. And now when you wake up on Friday, you will automatically have the latest episode in an Apple Note already transcribed with a summary every week. Pretty wild. Now, if you want to do multiple podcasts, I would suggest creating multiple shortcuts. You can do things like repeat with each and have multiple RSS feeds, but iOS 18 has been a little finicky, so I would just duplicate this shortcut, put in a different RSS feed here, maybe create a new note just for that podcast, and now you can have full transcriptions and summaries with Apple Intelligence right here in Shortcuts. As you can tell, I'm pretty excited to having figured that out. And I actually have one more big announcement if you stayed right here till the end. I'm launching a membership community for the channel. This is actually based on Circle, and right now you can join for free. I have a place where you can start your own posts and discussions, but you'll see here there's an entire shortcut section, And there are some special features behind a membership paywall. I have finally put all the shortcuts you've seen in all of my videos in a database. So you can actually go to the shortcuts database here and you'll be able to browse by topic. You can leave comments on any shortcut if they're not working or if you'd like it customized. And you can search for shortcuts by using the search button here. And once you start searching, you can then filter by space. So you can look at the shortcuts database and it will pull just the shortcuts from the database based on your search. Also, I get so many requests for shortcuts across Instagram DMs and threads and emails and YouTube comments. Keep those coming. I will be browsing those in the future as well. But again, for paying members, I have a special shortcuts request area, and I'm going to prioritize these requests because it means that you've supported the channel and this community directly. Also behind the paywall is going to be automation requests for the smart home. I'll do my best to build those. And I am planning to do some regular live streams, and that's going to be specifically for members of the community. So I would love for you to be a part of the community just for free so we can all kind of gather in one place and discuss things. But if you can, I would really appreciate your support. I'm going to price it at $5 a month or $50 a year. You get access to that shortcuts database, which will be updated anytime I make a new video, so you can search all the shortcuts. Those shortcuts requests will be prioritized from paying members. And I'm going to have some other features in the future specifically for those who support the channel. And I've even put a Learn the Basics course here in the circle. These were actually my videos from the YouTube channel like Shortcuts 101 and 201 and Automation Basics, but I've put them in order. So if you're new to shortcuts and you kind of want to walk through it step by step, you can do this course, again, for paying members. And these are uploaded directly to Circle, not embedded through YouTube, so you can watch those videos ad-free. Would love for you to be a part of the community. That link is going to be down in the video description. I'll be talking about this in future videos and more shortcuts videos, of course. But to everyone watching, thank you for watching, commenting, and engaging with the channel over the past few years, because I just crossed 100,000 subscribers. I'm getting my plaque soon. I'm going to do a whole video on that, so I'm excited for it. And if you haven't yet, I'd love for you to subscribe to the channel here. Hit that like button. Again, leave comments below this video. I'm always looking at those as much as I can, and I search for requests through the comments across all the videos. And if you want to start at the beginning with Shortcuts 101, you can see the whole playlist right up here where I walk you through step by step. And if you want to go with even more advanced shortcuts, have some expert level shortcuts in this video right up here. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.